Good morning, Life Point Church. Welcome to day 5 of Call to Commitment. I hope you found these lessons very helpful, or just reminded us of how much that we need to commit to God. We went way back in the Old Testament and we looked at a life of commitment and what that cost Noah and how he had to be wholeheartedly in this thing to receive favor from God, to receive God's blessing, and more importantly, to receive that salvation plan in his time. And we're thankful for a salvation plan in our time and what it looks like to be called to commitment in our time. Now, even from way back in the Old Testament to now in the New Testament, we can still see the story of a life that is committed to God. Cornelius was a Roman military officer, and he was responsible to enforce Roman law in the area where he was stationed. He was stationed in the nation of the Jewish people, and these Roman officers were always having problems and conflict with these people. The Jewish people in that time were very uncooperative. They were hostile towards outsiders, and they were prone to riots. Yet Cornelius found their religion to be very peculiar. He was interested in that, and he liked their God. In fact, he prayed to their God even though that he couldn't go to their church services. He couldn't go to the tabernacle. He wasn't welcome to be around Jewish people, but he prayed to God, and he was committed to that lifestyle even though it doesn't seem that he was welcome, and he gave to the poor. One afternoon, Cornelius was in prayer, and he had a visit from an angel. And the angel approached Cornelius and told him that God was hearing his prayers. And he had some special instructions for Cornelius. He told Cornelius that he was going to have some men go to Joppa, about 34 miles to the south. And these men were supposed to look for a man named Simon Peter. And in an instant, this angel was gone, and Cornelius had to decide what to do. And he told his men exactly what the angel said. He repeated the process to them. He gave them the instructions that he was given. And the angels left, and they went to Joppa, and they found Simon Peter, and they were instructed to listen to what he had to say. 4 days later, Cornelius' men returned, and it said that when Cornelius saw Peter, that he fell at his feet and began to worship Peter. And Peter had the perfect reaction. He's like, "Get up, I'm just a man like you are. I'm just somebody that's committed and listening to God just like you are." Peter addressed the group and told them, "Listen, per Jewish law, I'm not even supposed to be entering your house. I'm not supposed to be taken in as your guest." However, he also told the group that God showed him that he should not consider what God calls clean to be unclean. So Peter then asked Cornelius, "Why did you send for me?" And Cornelius recounted his angelic visit that he had. And Peter began to preach the good news to Cornelius and to his household. And it was that at that time that the household of Cornelius, everyone that was there, the Spirit fell on them, and they began to speak with other tongues. And astonished, Peter, being a Jew, saw that the Spirit of God was filling the Gentiles. What an amazing thing. But to point out that God always gives favor from the Old Testament all the way to the New Testament to people that are committed to Him. And we see that through this commitment, Noah and his family and Cornelius and his family were able to find salvation by being committed to God. So no matter where you are or you find yourself in this time, they're trying times, or maybe you say that I struggled with God, or I don't have all the answers. I don't think any of us has all the answers. But I do know that if you stay committed to God where you are, if you earnestly pray to God on what He wants for you in your life, that God will show you the way. He'll show you the path, and we need to be committed to that. Thank you so much.